by the best one, but thank you. Now for the S&D Group, Alfred Sant.
Thank you, Chairman. Let me start by thanking our rapporteur for his cooperative approach in the process of finding a compromise position on the text. I think we all agree that a more integrated European framework should be limited to a principle-based approach, building on identified best practices around Europe and national systems that, as we have said several times, have been working well until now, and we should not be disrupting them. With regard to the amendments, my group has tabled over 70 amendments on the directive and on the regulation. As the rapporteur has mentioned before, we are currently discussing the text of the directive among the shadows. From what we have discussed so far, several items remain unclarified, and at this point, considering that the Econ vote is in just 2 weeks' time, we should really speed up the process. The critical elements from my group's perspective deal with the rapporteur's approach on, firstly, the eligible assets for what he defines as ordinary covered bond. Secondly, deleting the provision of intra-group pooled covered bond structure, which, in my opinion, should stay in the text. And thirdly, the composition of the cover pool, which, in my view, is too restrictive from his perspective. We are still discussing how derivative contracts should be dealt with in Article 11 and 15 of the directive, and I believe this should be done in combination with discussion on the CRR regulation. As I have said, we have not discussed yet the proposal amending the CRR. My general approach on this will be that we have to be prudent when we amend it, because Article 129 is part of a wider framework and we could have indirect repercussions in other areas. Specifically, I have some reservations on the preferential treatment for extendable maturities in Amendment 14 of the rapporteur's draft report. Notably, as already mentioned, soft bullet and conditional pass-through, because this could give a wrong signal to investors. From where we stand now, in order to make the whole process smoother, we should keep the text as clear as possible, avoid the inclusion of thresholds which have not been sufficiently assessed or empirically tested, and try to avoid any disruption to current national markets. Thank you.